Hi, this is Abhidip from the Cine-Literaries official YouTube channel, and today I'll be reviewing Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children. So, like in the intro, released in 1981, Midnight Children received almost instantaneous critical acclaim and having went on to win the Booker Prize that year. And later on in the 25th and 40th anniversaries of the Booker Prize, it was adjudged the Booker of Bookers, essentially making this post-colonial literature one of the classiest pieces of literature written in the late 20th. Now the plot. So in the cover of the book itself, the plot is written as: born in the stroke of midnight on August 15, 1947, at the precise moment of India's independence, the infant Salim Sinai celebrated in the press and welcomed by Prime Minister Nehru himself. But this coincidence of birth has consequences Salim is not prepared for. Telepathic powers that connect him with 1,000 other midnight children, all born in the initial hour of India's independence, and an uncanny sense of smell that allows him to sniff out dangers that others cannot perceive. Well, the bylines mentioned in the book cover doesn't, according to me, justify the many subplots and intricate tales that eventually bring up the story of the novel. But overall, going through this magnanimous piece, I think for this edition it's around 647 pages. I can safely say that theme-wise it will be one of the most favorite books ever. Section: character, relatability, and story arcs. So one of the best factors of Midnight Children, which I loved, which I have been absolutely mesmerized by the fact that the story, though being a flag bearer of magical realism genre, it's still somehow it's so deeply bound with the reality of India's politics and politics of India's independence, to be specific, and maybe even beyond India's independence politics, because the story starts essentially with Salim's grandfather, dating back to 1918, the endings of the World War I. So every character somehow driven by a motive which is somehow very deeply influenced by the societal happenings all around, and which ultimately makes each of those characters very deeply relatable and believable. And one of the very specific thing is that even the very minor characters, which are apparently they are not no one will list them as the major characters, but somehow the decisions they took that has the ability to turn the story in a very different manner. For example, I won't be giving spoilers, but one of the characters we have here is a nurse called Pereira, and Pereira has had this boyfriend who will eventually be killed by in the independence struggle, and this boyfriend's righteousness, his views of righteousness and the ideal politics somehow got embedded in Pereira so deeply that she takes some steps which eventually turns the lives of Salim and his parents forever in a very different direction. And maybe that's why I consider Salman Rushdie to be one of the very geniuses of writing, because undoubtedly he had played the perfect god or destiny, and he had crafted this magical tale. So now the fourth section: trivia and controversies. While making the research for this video, I found a very interesting trivia that when it was first released in 1981, then the then Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, she appealed to the UK courts, saying that one specific line in the then edition of the book, in the 28th chapter, there was one line where Rushdie stated that Indira Gandhi's husband's death caused a rift between her and her son Sanjay Gandhi, and this line obviously it didn't happen very well with the Gandhi family, and eventually this issue has to be taken out of court, and Rushdie finally removed this line from the para. So this is one controversy, and one other trivia is that the 2017 adaptation of this same book of the same name, Midnight Children, which was directed by Deepa Mehta, it has got a very different storyline than that of the book. So these are the two trivias which I found. The last section, writing, diction and language. Now, as I told already, the theme and plot of the story is brilliant. In fact, like before I read this story, I never thought it's possible to write a tale that's so simple yet so magnificently gorgeous, that moves parallelly the story of a psychic bullied boy and the tale of the world's greatest democracy's independence. And as for the writing, Rushdie is truly a magician with words. Like, there has been many sections where I have been literally stupefied by his very high standards of prose. But this specific one paragraph I remember, which will be etched in my mind forever. It basically represents the philosophy of a snake and ladder game. Let me go through it once, if I remember. I will read 2 to 3 lines. All games have morals, and the game of snake and ladders captures, as no other activity can hope to do, the eternal truth that for every ladder you climb, a snake is waiting just round the corner, and for every snake, a ladder will compensate. But it's more than that, no mere carrot and stick affair, because implicit in this game is the unchanging trueness of things, the duality of up and down, good against evil. The solid rationality of ladders balances the occult sinuosities of the serpent. In the opposition of staircase and cobra, we can see metaphorically all conceivable oppositions, alpha against omega, father against mother. Here is the war of Mary and Musa, and the polarities of knees and nose. But I found very early in life that a game lacked one crucial dimension, that of ambiguity. Because as events are about to show, it is also possible to slither down a clay ladder and climb to triumph on the venom of a snake. Keeping things simple for the moment, however, I record that no sooner had my mother discovered the ladder to victory, represented by her racecourse luck, than she was reminded that the gutters of the country were still teeming. Finally, rating time. It will be an audacity for me to rate someone like Salman Rushdie and this masterpiece, but just for the sake of this video and for the sake of my recommendation to the readers who will I hope will pick up this book and go through it, I will rate it as 4.5 out of 5 stars. And the 0.5 I deducted mainly because like, the tale is so magnanimous and it's so huge and complicated that maybe for us normal people, like who get maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour per day to read, it may be a little difficult to decipher and to understand the entire beauty of the tale. Like, it's so spread out, like it has got so many characters, so intricately the tale was told with thousands of subplots, and he has written it with such magnificence that, like, as I told, like it's an audacity on my behalf to rate it, but just for the sake of recommendation I have to, and 4.5 out of 5. So finally, to finish things off, is Midnight Children a book that I will take with me if I am quarantined tomorrow on a desolate island? My answer will be a staggering yes. And in this fast time, especially when reading books has become more of a nostalgic habit, it's a sincere attempt on our channel's part to revive this habit and maybe start a reading revolution. Thanks guys for listening, and if you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. The link of this book, I will put it in the description box. And if you want us to know any specific feedbacks or comments or any specific book that you want us to review, please do let us know. So thanks for watching and keep reading.